Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Bookish Drama. My name is Ethan and today I am bringing you a very special video. It is an original tag that I am going to be doing with some amazing people. This tag is called a darker shade of book tags and it basically helps you review whatever book you want to review. For me, it is going to be the A Darker Shade of Magic series by Victoria Schwab. As you may know, I have been reading this book with A Darker Shade of read-alongs that Spence over a Common Spence was hosting. It was my first read-along that I ever participated in and I had so much fun. At first, I thought that I would do a live show as a response to his to share my thoughts on the books, and I invited some people, but in the end we thought that it would be best to answer this question in a book tag instead of doing it live because it was a bit hard to match our schedules. Each one of us is going to be doing a video on their channels. You can go check Megan over Tome Infinity and Emma over at Wedges of Lemon. Their videos will be linked in the description down below once they are uploaded. And I am going to start fast because there are quite a few questions that need to be answered. As I told you, you can make this book tag for whatever book you read. It doesn't have to be the A Darker Shade of Magic series, it is just the name of the book tag. There are two parts. The first one is about the author and the second one about the books. The first part is completely spoiler free, and then when I start talking about the books I am going to go into spoilers, so I am warning you ahead. You can watch this part of the video and then I will warn you again so you can leave if you have not read these books and you don't want to be spoiled. First question, what other books have you read by the author, Victoria Schwab in this case? So I have read The Near Witch, and then I also have read the archived duology. I gave The Near Witch 3 stars and I gave 4 stars to these books in the duology. They were quite good, very underrated, and I really encourage you guys to pick them up. I think they have been re-released in a bind-up, so it is the perfect opportunity for you guys to pick them up because they're quite good. Next book that you plan to read by the author. So I want to read the Monsters of Verity duology. So we have This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet. This is a YA series and I thought that I would read them next because, you know, A Darker Shade of Magic is a adult series, so I thought that I would read this YA and then jump into Vicious. Question number 3, recommend a book to read after this series. I am going to go with The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I feel like A Darker Shade of Magic is a really great introduction into adult fantasy, and this one is as well. It is a little bit more complex, and that's why I think it is the perfect book to read after the series. If you loved Victoria Schwab's writing, Patrick Rothfuss's is just incredible. This series is so good. Please guys, read these books. I feel like I have been mentioning them in a lot of videos because they're really great and you should really pick them up. So now we're going to jump into questions about the books, still without spoilers. What was your favorite book of the series? I was really torn between the second and the third book, but in the end I chose the second one. I loved this book with all my heart. It was everything I wanted. I will talk about this a little bit more in an upcoming question, so yeah, but this is really good and very underrated. Most people hated it, but I loved it. Least favorite book in the series, and for me it was A Darker Shade of Magic, the first book in the trilogy. I was very underwhelmed by this book. I did a reading vlog for it. It will be popping up here, and yeah, you can go watch it. I was expecting a lot from this book and it didn't deliver. I didn't like a lot the magic system. I didn't like the villains either. It felt a bit slow as well, although it is not slow. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I didn't like it for some reason. I mean, I liked it. I gave it a 3.75 stars, but it was not my favorite book. It didn't blow me away. It was a very average book for me. In your opinion, is it a plot-centered or character-driven story? So, I loved these books because of the characters. They were amazing, basically, and I did not like the plot that much. If you go into these books expecting to love the plot, you are not going to love it because it is a very simple premise, really. There were some parts of the plot that I loved, and they were the ones that people used to not like that much, so I have an unpopular opinion there. But yeah, the characters were everything. I kept reading these books to know what happened to the characters, basically, because they were amazing. Although I have some unpopular opinions about the characters that will be coming up in a question next. Pick 3 characters that describe your personality. So, first of all, I went with Ned. I chose him because I want to learn things about things I don't understand, because I want to be able to comprehend everything, and I feel that he has that motivation as well. Then we have Kala, because she shipped a lot Kel and Lila, and I am a shipper as well. I always ship Bookish characters together from different series, from different universes. I don't care, I ship them. And then for the third person, I am going to be a combination of Lila, Rai, and Alucard. I am not like any of them in particular, but I have some personality traits like every single one of them, so I am a combination, basically. The next question is unpopular opinions. And I have a lot, both positive and negative, so let's dive right in. My first unpopular opinion is that I loved this book, which is the most hated book by most people. I found it fascinating, it was great, I don't know how to explain it, but I prefer, in this particular series, I prefer the books that don't have plots or the parts of the book that are more boring for people. I don't know why. I love this book as a whole, and I also loved the middle part of A Conjuring of Light. When they are at sea, it was my favorite part, I think, and yeah. Next unpopular opinion. Kel is the worst character ever, and he is the main character. At least he is in the first book, although then in the next novels we have different POVs, but in this one he is the main character and he is extremely boring. He's your typical white straight guy, and he doesn't have any real depth, and yeah. If you don't want to be spoiled, leave now, because I am going to be talking about more things with spoilers, so I don't want you to get spoiled, so bye guys. If you're still here, it means that you have read the books. My other unpopular opinion is that I didn't want Kel and Lila to end up together. No, I am going to tell who I ship Lila with in an upcoming question, so keep your eyes open for that, because they are the perfect match. Another unpopular opinion is that I don't like the development of Rai's and Alucard's relationship in the end of the last book. I don't know why, but it felt really forced, and I wanted them to end up together, but their dynamic wasn't for me. I don't know why it was. I shipped them together, but it was just a weird situation. My throat is a little bit sore, that is why I sound a bit weird. I have here some tea, and as you can already tell by the last question, I am going to be spilling a little bit of it. Next question is, name another book that this book reminded you of, and I have a lot. This answer that I am going to give is Genius. I think that Victoria Schwab took everything that is great from Brandon Sanderson books and implemented it into this trilogy. And hear me out. From Elantris, she took the fact that magic is lost in some parts of the world, and we want to know why magic has disappeared. Then, from the Mistborn trilogy, she took the structure. In the first book, we get presented with a villain that is not the main villain in the whole series. Then the second book is a filler book in which we learn who the real villain is, and in the last one, we try to overcome the real villain. So the structure is exactly the same as the one in these books. From Warbreaker, she implemented the fact that color is a very prominent part in the society. Here, color is important in the magic system, and in her novels, the colors are important because, you know, each London has a different color. And then, from the Stormlight Archived series, she took the fact that there are multiple POVs, and in this way we learn a lot more about the world and we get a broader perspective. The other book that obviously reminded me of a darker shade of magic was Clockwork Angel, or the whole Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. This is also set in London in the past, and you know, the atmosphere is very similar, although the plot is completely different. Next question, did the author do a better job at world building or at the magic system? I have problems with both of these things in this novel. Sometimes I loved it and sometimes I didn't. If we start with world building, I was amazed by the world building in the first novel because the different Londons are really well differentiated, and I think she did an amazing job with that. The problem that I have with the world building is that I really cannot tell apart Fesk and Pharaoh, which are the countries that surround Arns. As they were always talked about together, I couldn't tell which was which. However, I liked the world building a lot in the first novel, but the magic system didn't grip me because we don't know the full scope of this system and the limitation this has. In the later novels, it gets developed a little bit more, and I love that more. So throughout the books, I liked less the world building, but I liked more the magic system. Next one is your favorite quote. I love a lot of quotes, but I'm going to read one that is a little bit underrated. I have not heard anyone talking about this quote, so I'm going to go with it. Strength and weakness are tangled things, the Avan Essen had said. They look so much alike we often confuse them, the way we confuse magic and power. Question 12. What was the death that affected you the most? And the death that affected me the most was Hashtra in this last novel. He's so precious, and he is the person I ship Lila with. They interact only a bit, but their dynamic is amazing, and I wanted them to end up together. They are the perfect match. Gala approves this, okay? Question 13. What deaths did not affect you? So I have quite a few. First of all, Alucard's sister, I don't remember her name, I didn't care about that. Also, the queen and the king. Okay, bye. Here I can also mention Okja. I loved when Lila killed her. It was one of my favorite scenes of the book. And also I didn't care about Cora. I hated her. Then when she and Rai talked in the bath, I felt a little bit for her, but then she was awful and bye. Bye. And the last question is, sort something from the book into a Howard's house. I made the question in the second live show for them to sort each London into a Howard's house, and they give their answers. The live show will be in the description below, so you can go watch it. I also answered this question in one of my reading vlogs, so it will be popping up here if you want to know my answer to that question. But here I'm going to be sorting Ned and Holland into a Howard's house. So my answer is that I think both are divergents. Yes. They both have traits from all the houses, and I feel like I cannot sort them just into one of them. They are divergent, definitely. Those were all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now I'm going to be tagging some people that I know have read these books, so here I go. I am obviously going to be tagging Spencer over at Common Spence, because you know he hosted this, and he can make this tag about other books because he has already talked a lot about these novels. I am also tagging Tom from TJ Reads the Stars, Karina from Bookish Babbles, Leah from Where in the World is Leah Jane, and Laurie from Laurie and Thomas. I think all of them have read the books, and yeah, I am tagging you guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all of my social medias. The links are in the description below as always, and that is all. See you guys in my next video. Bye.